So this chapter will do revision in two parts. One is classification of elements. One will do the classification of elements. And other will do periodicity of properties. Periodicity of properties. So in first part we will do classification of elements. Classification of elements, like if you see the history of development of periodic classification, there are several rules, that is Meulen's octave law, Dobrin's triad, Lothar-Meyer curve, then Mendeleev's periodic table and periodic law, then Moseley's periodic table and periodic law, long form of periodic table. In long form periodic table, we have seen total in all together 7 periods were there. 7 periods and 18 groups were there in long form of periodic table. This long form periodic table have tried or explained many demerits which was there of Mendeleev's periodic table or the earlier development of periodic classification. In long form periodic table, what we have seen, we have 7 periods and 18 groups. Out of 7 periods, that is period number 1, period number 2, period number 3, period number 4, period number 5, period number 6 and period number 7. So we have 7 periods altogether. Okay. Now, first period was having only 2 elements. Second period was having 8 elements. Third period was having 8 elements. Fourth period we are having 18 elements. Fifth period 18 elements. Sixth period 32 elements. Seventh period it was incomplete. So first period is called as short period. You can say shortest period. Then period number 2 and 3 they were called as short period. Period number 4 and 5 they were called as long period. And period number 32, 6, that was called as longest period. While period number 7 it was incomplete period. Incomplete. Okay. Period number 2 shortest, period number 1 shortest, period number 2 and 3 short, period number 4 and 5 long, period number 6 was longest and 7 was incomplete. First period consisting of only 2 elements, hydrogen and helium. Second period consisting of 8 elements. Third period consisting of 8 elements. Fourth period was consisting of 18 elements. Fifth was 18 elements. Sixth was 32 and seventh was incomplete. I gave you the traits how to remember the periodic table in your classroom itself. Okay. So you can easily design a periodic table by using those tricks. No problem. Okay. If you see the group, first group number was first group 1, group 2, group 13, group 14, group 15, group 16, group 17, and then group 18. Group 1 were called as alkali metals. Group 1 were alkali metals. Group 2 were called as alkaline earth metals. Alkaline earth metals. Group 13 were boron family members. Group 14, that is carbon family members. Group 15 were called as nicogens. Group 16 were called as chalcogens. 17 were called as halogens. 18 were called as noble gas or inert gas. noble gas or inert gas. Okay. Group 1, Group 2, Group 13, Group 14, Group 15, Group 16, 17, 18. Alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, boron family, carbon family, nicogens, chalcogens, then halogens, then noble gas and inert gas. Okay. Then Group 17, then groups, this was Group 18, now Group 13 to Group 12, Group 3 to 12, Group 3 to Group 12. They were called as transition elements. Transition elements. They were called as transition elements. Okay. Then rare earth elements were called as like F block elements. That is, in Group 3rd, 6th period, there were another elements that was rare earth elements. Rare earth elements. So it was the elements notation in periodic table. Okay. Now, after that, we see, like suppose Group 1 element, alkali metals. So Group 1 elements, alkali metals, which were lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, calcium. Group 2 elements were beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. Group 13 was boron family, that is boron, aluminium, gallium, indium and thallium. Group 14, it was carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. Group 15, it was nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, strontium and bismuth. Group 16 was oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. Group 17, it was fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, aspartame. Group 18 was all those helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. It was remembered as लीना ने की रब से फरियाद. Second group, बेटा मांगे कार स्कूटर बाप रोए. Then बाल गंगा इंडियन तिलक. कैसी गीत सुनाऊं प्यारे बलमा. नाना पापा आंटी सब बीमार. How are you Mr. Osse Cheppo. फिर कल बाहर आई ऐसा टाकिया. हेलिना और करीना की Xerox radon. It was the remembering tricks of periodic table. Now if we see the group, this is from group 1 to group 18. Okay. Then if we see the group 3rd to group 12 member, this 3rd to 12th member, where group 3rd member, group 3rd to 12th member, group 3rd to 12th member, they were being divided into 3D series. 3D series, which was science of titanium is very critical, but a man of iron cooperate with nickel, copper, zinc. Okay, science of titanium is very critical, but a man of iron cooperate with nickel, copper, zinc. Similarly, it was 3D series. Now 4D series. If you see the 4D series were यारी जरा निभाना मौत तक, रुकावटें राहों में पड़े अगर कोई, यारी जरा निभाना मौत तक, रुकावटें राहों में पड़े अगर कोई, then 5D series was ला हफ्ता वसूल कर, रे उस्मान वसूल कर, रे उस्मान, वरना इधर पिटाई और मार दोनों पड़ेगी। ला हफ्ता वसूल कर रे उस्मान, वरना इधर पिटाई और मार दोनों पड़ेगी। Those are remembering tricks, phrases of 3D series, 4D series and 5D series. Scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. Yttrium, zirconium, nobelium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, argentinum, and cadmium. Lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, that is wolfram, rhenium, osmium, iridium, platinum, aurum, and mercury. It was the 3D series, 4D series, and 5D series. It was being divided. Then, if you see the classification of elements, elements were classified into two different bases, into two different categories. One was the classification based on the Bohr's explanation. Bohr's, it was S block element, P block element, D block element, and F block element. So S block element, it was not SPDF. According to Bohr's, it was normal or representative elements. Okay. So we'll see the classification and their basis. Okay. So two different types of classification were there. First was Bohr's classification. Bohr's classification. And another was classification into blocks. Classification into blocks. So Bohr's classification was, first was normal or representative elements. Normal or representative elements. Then second was transition elements. Transition elements. Third way, that is inner transition elements. Inner transition elements. And fourth classification, fourth type was, that was inert gas or noble gas. Okay. Again into blocks, it was S block, it was P block, it was D block, and it was F block element. Okay. So first we see normal or representative elements. Normal or representative elements. So members of group 1, group 2 and group 13 to group 18, they were called as normal. Group 17, they were called as normal or representative elements. So they were the member of group 1, group 2 and group 13 to group 17. They were called as normal or representative elements. Why they are normal or representative elements? Because their oxides and hydroxides are normal oxides, because they form normal oxides and hydroxides. Normal oxides and hydroxides, and represents the main form of periodic table. And represents the main form of periodic table. They represent the main form of periodic table. They represents the main form of periodic table. Means without these elements, periodic table is none. So they represent the main form of periodic table, forms normal oxides and hydroxides. Therefore, they were called as normal or representative elements. Okay, normal or representative elements. Next was transition element. So transition element, why it was transition element? Okay, transition element was the elements of group third to group 12th, they were called as transition elements. So group 3rd to group 12, they were called as transition elements. Why transition element? Because their properties are neither S block of nor P block. Their properties are in the middle, in the transition between normal and the S block and P block. So their properties are in between S and P block elements. They were called as transition elements. Okay. They lies in between group 1 and group 2 and group 13. So they lies in between them. Their properties are neither like group 1 or group 2 nor like group 13 to group 17. Rather, their properties lies in between them. Therefore, they are called as transition elements. Okay. So transition elements are from 3rd to group 12. Okay. 3rd to group 12. They are called as transition elements. Another is, like in these elements, their electronic configuration remains such that, alright, they will have ns1 to 2, n minus 1, d1 to 10. So they lies in between these two blocks, okay, S and P blocks. Therefore, their configuration is in between them. So their properties are in between the S metals and non-metals. They are neither completely metal nor completely non-metal. So their properties lies in between them, alright, and therefore they are called as transition elements. Next is inner transition elements. Inner transition elements are, that is, their properties are something like transition element, and that is in between within the transition element itself. So their properties are something different from transition elements, but resembles transition elements. They are the members of group. They are the members of rare earth elements. Rare earth elements. They are the members of rare earth elements. Rare earth elements. Rare earth elements were of two types. One was lanthanide, other was actinide. Lanthanide, other was actinide. So they were the members of lanthanides and actinides, and their properties are similar to transition but not completely similar to transition, completely same as that of transition elements. Alright, they are little different from transition elements. Their configuration also resembles, that is, they are in between the transition elements, within the transition element itself. Therefore, they are inner transition elements. Next is inert gas. Why they are inert gas? Because they remains inert in nature. These gases remains inert in nature. They remains inert in nature. Inert in nature. Therefore, they are called as inert gas or noble gas. They do not form compound. They do not show reactivity. So, according to Bohr's, normal or representative elements were the members of group 1, group 2 and group 13 to group 17. They were forming normal oxides and hydroxides, and the refrigerants, the main form of periodic table. Therefore, they were called as normal or representative elements. Transition elements, their properties lies in between metals and non-metals, and therefore they are called as transition elements. Okay, they are neither metals nor non-metals. They are in between them. Therefore, they are called as transition metals. And within the transition metals, there are certain other type of metal whose properties are little different from transition elements, and they were called as inner transition elements. Inner transition elements are the members of rare earth elements, which is of two types, lanthanides and actinides. Inert gas and noble gases are, they remains inert in nature, they are not reactive, they are unreactive, therefore they are called as inert gases or noble gases. Okay. Next is classification into blocks. If classification into blocks, we'll see. So now, they are being divided into S block, P block, D block and F block. So S block members, S block, that is what? S block element. What is this S block element? Their outermost electronic configuration, if you write, you will see that their last electron lies in S block. If last electron enters to S subcell, then they will be called as S block element. Last electron enters to S subcell, they will be called as S block element. Okay? Like, for example, they are the members of group 1 and group 2. They are the members of group 1 and group 2. If you see the configuration of group 1, their configuration is NS1. The configuration of group 2 is NS2. So the S block configuration lies from 1 to 2, that is NS1 to 2. NS1 for group 1 and NS2 for group 2 elements. Group 1 elements are called as alkali metals. Alright, why alkali metals? Because why alkali metals? They are called as alkali metals. Why they are called as alkali metals? Because their oxides and hydroxides are alright, which are water soluble bases. Their oxides and hydroxides are water soluble bases. Since they form water soluble bases, therefore they will be called as alkali metals. Because their oxides and hydroxides are water soluble bases. Alkalis are water soluble bases. Oxides and hydroxides are water soluble bases, and therefore they are called as alkali metals. Next, all they are metals, exclusively metals. And many other characters we have already given to you in your class notes. They are exclusively metals. They are highly reactive metals. They are soft metal. Their melting point and boiling point is less. They are bonded through metallic bond. Their metallic bond is weaker. Metallic bond is consisting of only one electron. Their metallic bond strength decreases from top to bottom. So therefore, lithium to cesium, their metallic bond decreases, and therefore their softness increases. Softness of these metals increases from top to bottom down the group, and many other characters we have explained about this group 1 elements. Okay. Next is group 2 elements. Group 2 elements were called as alkaline earth metals. So why they are alkaline earth metals? Because in this group 2 elements they are called as alkaline earth metal because they are found in earth crust. So they are found in earth crust. Therefore, they are called as alkaline earth metals. So they are found in earth crust. Okay. Their configuration is NS2. Their oxides and hydroxides are also water soluble bases. So they are also alkali in nature. Like there is calcium hydroxide soluble in water, alright, forming lime water. So what is this? Their oxides and hydroxides are also alkali in nature. Therefore, they are alkaline earth metals. Since they are found in earth crust, they are earth metal. And their oxides and hydroxides are alkaline in nature, therefore they are called as alkaline earth metals. Okay. Again, these are little harder than these elements are little harder than group 1 elements. Why it is harder than group 1 elements? Because over here in their metallic bond, they consisting of 2 electrons. In group 1 elements, they are consisting of only 1 electrons. It consists of 2 electrons. Another point is, these metals are in the form of crystalline structure, either CCP or HCP. There is close packing in their structure, and therefore they possess higher melting and boiling point than that of group 1 elements. They are little harder than group 1 elements, and many other characters of group 2 elements already we have explained. Now we will go for the P block element. P block element is what? That is such type of element whose last electron enters to P subcell. Such type of element whose last electron enters to P subcell is called as P block element. Whose last electron enters to P subcell are called as P block element. Okay. So in this P block element, they are the members of group 1. They are the members of group 1 to group 3 to 13 to group 18th. Even inert gas are also included in their P block. So if you see the P block element is okay. Their last electron enters enters to p subcell. Last electron enters to p subcell. Okay, the last electron enters to p subcell. They are the members of group 13 to group 18. Group 13 to group 18. Group 18, which were inert gas according to Bohr's classification, they are also included in p block, because if you see the group 13, their configuration is NS2 NP1. Okay, group 14, their configuration is NS2 NP2. Similarly, so on. If it is group 18, their configuration is NS2 NP6. So last electron enters to p subcell, therefore they are p block elements. Okay. Members of, as I told you earlier, members of group 13 were called as boron family members. Members of group 14 were called as carbon family members. Members of group 15 were called as nicogens because they form life-saving elements. Because the nitrogen and phosphorus, two major elements of our body, they belongs to the group 15 member itself. Then group 16 member, they will be called as chalcogens, that is ore forming elements. Chalcogen means ore forming elements because in most of the ores, alright, we'll find oxygen and sulfur, and oxygen and sulfur belongs to group 16, therefore they are called as chalcogens. Group 17, they will be called as halogens. Halos means salt because they are salt forming elements. Maximum salt will have either chlorine or bromine or iodine, alright, or fluorine. So they are salt forming elements. Group 18, as you know, they are called as inert gas. No problem. This p block consisting of metals, non-metals as well as metalloid. One important point is all the non-metals are included. All non-metals are present in p block. All non-metals are present in p block. In any S block or D block or F block, non-metals are not there. So p block consisting of non-metals as well as metals of less electropositivity as well as metalloid. So p block consisting of metals, non-metals as well as metalloid. Metalloid are the elements which possess the character of both metal as well as non-metal. Okay, so they consisting of all this. Okay, now this about and many other characters of p block already we have explained. Now we will discuss about d block elements. D block elements are the elements whose last electron enters to d subcell. Their important point is, that is a very important point of p block was their configuration. Similarly, if you see the d block element means their last electron enters to d subcell. Last electron enters to d subcell. Their outermost electronic configuration is ns1 to 2, n-1, d1 to 10. What does it mean? Why it is ns1 to 2? Because electron may undergo exchange of their orbital to get a symmetrical configuration. Electrons may undergo the exchange of their orbitals to d orbitals. Therefore, ns1 to 2, n-1, d1 to 10. That is their configuration. If you see the scandium, titanium, science of titanium is very critical, but a man of iron cooperate with nickel, copper, zinc, like that. So over here, the outermost configuration of scandium is written as ns1, that is 4, n is 4. So 4s2 and 4 minus 1, 3d1. This will be 4s2, 3d2. This will be 4s2, 3d3. This will be 4s2, 3d4, which is becoming 4s1, 3d5. Okay. This will become 4s2, 3d, 4s2, 3d6. Sorry, 4s2, 3d5. Okay. 4s2, 3d5. This will become 4s2, 3d6. This will become 4s2, 3d7. And this will become 4s2, 3d8. over here copper 4s2, 3d 9, which will become 3d 10 and 4s1. Zinc will become 4s2, 3d 10. So earlier this copper and zinc, which is having 3d10 4s1, 3d10 4s2. What does it mean? First D is filled and then S starts their filling electrons. So they violates Aufbau principle. They violates Aufbau principle. So since their electrons are being exchanged, therefore they will be violating and their configurations are becoming ns1 to 2, n-1, d1 to 10. Now, if we see the configuration of zinc, in the configuration of zinc, it reveals what? 3d10 is filled and after that 4s2. So they reveals that they belongs to S block element, but their properties are not like S block element. In their properties, there lies the properties of D block element, but their configuration resembles the configuration of S block element. Therefore, earlier zinc were not included in the member as a D block element. But later on, according to their properties, we can keep these elements in D block element itself. Okay. Similarly, zinc, cadmium and mercury, similar configurations it will have. Okay. That was D block element. If you see, and many other properties, D block element, they are very hard, they possess very high melting and boiling point, they shows variable valency and blah blah blah. Many other properties which we have already explained. Already it is there in your notes, already we have given to you. Next is F block element. That is, their last electron enters 2. Last electron enters 2. F subcell. Last electron enters 2 F subcell. Their outermost configuration is ns1 to 2, n-1, d0 to 1, n-2, f1 to 14. Okay, f1 to 14. n-1, d0 to 1, n-2, f1 to 14. Like, they are being divided into two different categories. One is lanthanide, other is actinide. Lanthanide and other is actinide. Lanthanide were called as 4F series member. Actinides were called as 5F series member. Okay, 5F series member. Lanthanides were, that is, Sri Prasad Nandi, परिवार समेत यूरोप गए, टीबी डायरिया हुआ, अरे यार तुम लुट गए. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they are the members of series of 14 different elements. Lanthanum is the member of D block. They are not the member of F block. F block members are from cerium to lutetium. Okay, while lanthanum belongs to D block element. Since all these members are the family of lanthanum, therefore they are called as lanthanides. Okay, so over here in their configuration, it is written as cerium. If you write, so cerium 6, it belongs to 6 periods, so n is equals to 6. So if you write cerium configuration, 6s2. 6s2. Then after there will be 5d1, because this configuration represents the configuration of lanthanum. Then 4f1 is the configuration of cerium. Similarly, 4f2 is the configuration of praseodymium, 4f3 nadolium, 4f5, 4f4 pycnosium, 4f5 samarium, like that. So once it is like, suppose like that we'll write, if it is 6s2, 5d1, 4f3, suppose. If it is 3, so if this electron is gone to this, if it is suppose 3, it's alright, 4, 5. So let's say it is 5. So it is 1. So if this electron, if it is transferred to this will become 6, this will become 0. So 5 to 0 and 4f6. If one electron is being exchanged from this and it will become 7, so they will have half field configuration. They will get the stable configuration, and they will try to get the stable configuration by using this, becoming 6s1, 5d0 and 4f7. Okay. Similarly, if there is 6s2, 5d1 and 4f6, so simply by transferring this electron to this, they will get the symmetry in their configuration. Okay. Similarly, if it is 6s2, 5d1 and 4f7, so now see, this is half filled and this is half filled, so they are already having half filled configuration. So since they are having half filled configuration, they have stable configuration, they will have this configuration itself. Alright. So therefore, to get the stable configuration, they might exchange their orbitals to get half filled or full filled configuration, that is their stable configuration. Okay, and therefore their outermost configuration is written as ns1 to 2, n minus 1 d0 to 1, n minus 2f1 to 14, like that. Similarly, if it is actinides, actinides are having 5f series, and these elements are, that is Thakur Prasad Upadhyay goes to Nepal, Pune and America, and came back to California state, formed by modern non-literate person. See now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there are total altogether 14 elements are there. From thorium to lawrencium. And as you know, from uranium to lawrencium, they are radioactive in nature. Even thorium also. So they are mostly radioactive in nature. Okay, they are mostly radioactive in nature. The atomic number of thorium is 90. Okay, the atomic number of thorium is 90. So they are mostly radioactive in nature. Okay, so they are radioactive in nature. Radioactive element means such type of element whose nucleus disintegrated, alright, in the form of radiations, and certain radiations alpha, beta and gamma rays are coming out, alright, due to this nuclear disintegration. The phenomenon, the event is called as radioactivity, and the elements are called as radioactive elements. So actinides are mostly radioactive in nature. Alright, okay. Now, if you see the properties of lanthanide and actinides, or these rare earth element or F block, their properties are similar, almost similar to transition element with little difference. They are also hard. They are also possessing high melting point, but less than transition elements. Transition elements act as catalyst. They will also act as catalyst, but catalytic tendency, catalytic activity is lesser than transition elements. So since their properties are resembling the property of transition elements and lying within the transition element itself, therefore they are called as inner transition elements. Okay, therefore they are called as inner transition elements, and this is all about the F block elements. Okay, this is all about the F block elements, and this is all about the classification of elements into different blocks: S block, P block, D block, and F block. Okay. Then in next class we will discuss about okay, periodicity of properties, which is again important part of periodic classification. And again I am telling you, like you have given already, I have given details already, that is there in your class notes. So go through the class notes, because this chapter is full of information. More and more informations you are having, so you are good in more. You will be good in the particular chapter itself. Okay, so today up to this much. Thank you very much. Thank you.